おきを見せてやる。
Alright, so in this one, we are going to be doing my top 10 list in Dragon Ball Legends with the release of Beast Gohan. Just to mention some stuff in the side here you might kind of notice. Got some Halloween things just to obviously skip this if you want to get into the top 10, but I'm proud of it. I had to carry this throughout the entire city. I agree. Shut up, please. Okay, relax. Yeah, had to carry that. Got a little pumpkin over here, and then got a little friend over there as well. We got a lot of nice things. Can I actually show our little friend a little bit? Yes, there's our little friend. Hello, Mr. Little Friend. I got some lights behind me, orange lights. Gotta find those. But, going to be doing our top 10 list here. By the way, two things. One, for the costume video, comment the costumes. I'll probably be buying the costume, whatever the winner, like the one I decide is the one I'll be wearing. Is within the next few days here, so comment the costume you want me to wear for the costume video of Halloween, and subscribe if you are new and enjoy the content. Again, this will be my top 10 list. I actually made one a couple days ago, put it on Twitter, and from there I've already changed my mind on some actual pretty important placements, I would say. Again, clearly if you do disagree, feel free to let me know why you disagree, and things around that nature. Clearly people have different experiences of units, and just to show, I guess, because people like to gauge it, like, oh my god, you barely play the game, or like, you don't know what you're talking about. Again, it's like, whatever, if you agree or disagree, it doesn't really matter at that point. But to show, here's where I am now, here's where I am after, you know, using all these units a lot, old units, new units, trying to just test them off camera, on camera, and see what they do. How do I even show god ranks? I don't know, I have like 22, 21 god ranks, so I play the game a lot. Usually, I like to think I know what I'm talking about, but we shall see. Let's get into my top 10 list in Dragon Ball Legends with the Beaston's release, essentially, because, well, he is a beast. And let's see where I rate. Alright, so at number 10, we do have Mr. Awakened Piccolo. I do think this unit is actually a little bit underrated right now. Fun fact, he actually is bugged to where he takes a lot of extra damage from swords. And that does obviously hurt him because LF Trunks kind of trying to run around right now. Tapion maybe trying to run around with like some Ultra Gogetas and coolers. But Piccolo, he has way too good of synergy just with Beast Gohan, with that superhero-based team of Pan, Beast Gohan, and himself. He spawns green card. He has, well, green cards, actually. He's obviously going to restore ally health. He's going to get damage inflicted. He's going to give health by 20% when his character is defeated. He's, again, spawning green cards, which is very good for Beast Gohan. Just the synergy of that superhero setup and the burst potential he has because, you know, 100% next blast starts damage inflicted. He's on boost. He's going to do what he wants to do, which is do a lot of burst damage. On top of, I believe on his ultimate, if we check it here, he nullifies endurance, which could be pretty useful for you there, clearly. And also, from that point moving forward on main ability, he does go to cut 50%. That's pretty damn good because you're going to go through a lot of units, defensiveness that they can have. Obviously, a Beaston who has like 60%, 70% cut, and all these units have a lot of high cuts. So going through that cut clearly will be very valuable for you there. And again, it's more just the boost and the team having this guy be here. You know, once upon a time, a couple days ago, I said the androids are number 10, or I said this unit are number 10. I just can't see it with the androids right now. If you're wondering, like units below, units above, honorable mention types. Androids, they don't really have a team. If you're wondering about Cell, I would say after Boost, Piccolo probably is worse than Cell. Cell's probably like 11 through 12 right now. Majin Vegeta trying to like be at 12 through 13. Majin, no, not Majin Vegeta, Future Gohan rather, trying to be like a 13 through 14, 15 spot. So these are units that are just barely below, barely subpar to this. But again, just the synergy of Pan, Piccolo, and then Beast Gohan. I mean, it's meant to be as good synergy as it is, and it is as good synergy as it is. You can't really knock it because they do their jobs. Like Piccolo's showing 2 cards on his cover, or Pan's just coming in and then healing and then giving support and then just ramping up these other units. Like Piccolo can pop the fuck off on that first blast. It's similar to I don't know who else has this first arts thing. I think Purple Vegeta Blue has it, and you know his first blast does actually do a lot of damage. The subsequent ones do air, but Piccolo's not doing just the air after effect, right? It does have a little bit, you know, hurt stats. I wouldn't say these are ideal, but right now, with the boost, with the potential of the superhero-based team, and even more so the new equipment that was out, and you know some other equipment he does have, he does have a nice spot, a nice little niche with the superhero setup. And with that, I think it can value him as a number 10 unit. Again, with number 10 through like number 8 type of units, I feel you can maybe swap them around as, okay, honorable mentions can make it instead, or this unit that's like number 9 or 8 can make it instead. But I feel like Piccolo can only be swapped around units below him, so like, could you swap Piccolo with, I don't know, future Gohan? Sure, if you really want to like stretch an argument, sure. The androids, sure, if you want to stretch an argument, but other units above him, I don't think Piccolo really reaches their tier because he's really carried by team. But he is a good solo unit, at least in his own right, and with him being a new unit and having all 3 of these superhero units in top 10, because you know Beast-Han and Pan are going to be a lot higher than this, it's nice to see that this banner is very good value. I kind of figured it would be because, you know, it's superhero, they want people to summon, you know, make the units good, right? That's how you get people to summon. Very simple, good, and hype. Mr. Piccolo here, pretty hype, pretty good. Number 10, I think it's fair to say if you have him a little bit lower, I think it's fair to say if you have him in this spot. A little bit higher, I would say that's gassed, but we move. Let's get to number 9. And at number 9 here, we do have Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. Now, the point-blank scenario for this is just the simple fact that Pan replaces him. You have Sun Family replaced. You have literally any team in the game, quite honestly, because Pan is just the general support for everything in the entire game. He's replaced. He's gone, and if a unit's replaced, that doesn't inherently mean that they're just bad. I can't say that they're bad because they aren't. They don't really just become worse. It's just this unit does so much more that this other unit can't do that they have to fall down. Like, you will see X unit falls down because X unit does more. Like, Ultra Broly could be better than a Rebel Gohan because he does this. Or you have Ultra Gogeta be worse than Beast-Han because Beast-Han does this. MUI is in a similar vein to that, where Pan just does way too much. I tried running MUI, and he doesn't do much. I don't want to say he's useless because that'd be a lie, but MUI barely exists in matchups to really have any effect, especially with Beast-Han running around, Ultra Gogeta still existing. I don't think MUI's value can retain that high. You know, he's been in a top 10 spot, probably, what, top 5, actually? At least top 7 for a good couple months here, because he is, what, 5 months old at this point, about to 5 months old. And this man, listen, he had a good run. We needed a new red for hybrids. We needed a new blue for hybrids. And, you know, did we think we'd get both for Sun Family? No, we didn't expect that. We thought maybe they botched the colors of Pan or Beast-Han. Someone would get botched on colors. Neither did. And that just made this guy dip down. If you want to say he doesn't make top 10, I truly can understand it. I wouldn't say I agree with it, but I can understand it. If you're so hard replaced, then there's really no reason to run you, especially being a situation of like 2, you know, top 10 blue units. It's tough to really vouch you at this point, right? And even more so, does he even have a scenario where he's like anyways better than what Pan can offer for the entire team? What he can offer for himself? I don't think it's there. I'm just trying to think. Like, Auto Clash win is something, and that's annoying, but, like, again, it's Beast-Han running around, and this guy's endurance, and I guess, and, you know, I can nullify an ultimate, but this man ain't gonna do jack shit damage to Mr. Beast-Han. It just ain't it, and clearly, by the way, if you don't know, Pan goes neutral on main. She gets her main after 5 counts. That neutral stays for 60 counts. This guy can never go neutral, ever. I mean, Pan's sub-count manipulate. Literally, this is just me gassing Pan at this point, because it's everything about Pan is better than what this guy can have. Like, if he can have sub-count manipulation, she has it better. If, you know, he can stop combos, well, she can also stop combos, right? So both units can have similar effects, and yet one's doing something, you know, 50, 100 times better for the entire team. It was a good run for MUI to be like that, you know, red unit that was still running around, and I'm pretty sure he'll gain value again when we get more yellows, just because right now we don't really have a yellow. Like, we have one that's gonna be in top 10, but like in a whole reality, we don't really have many yellows that are like there. Like Puddle, Tapion, these are support types, right? Vegito, he's a damage dealer. It's just that he's in a bad spot because of, you know, color issue, and he'll be mentioned here soonly. He'll be mentioned here soon, but MUI, I wish I could say he's higher. He is a Rat Pack unit, so I a little bit am glad about this, but You know, I wouldn't doubt if he ever goes up again. Like, him gaining more value with God Key units in the future or something, you know, similar to this, because God Key's pretty hype. Like, this character has God Key, he's pretty cool, right? Him gaining more value if, again, Sun Family, like a tag, you know, Super Saiyan 4s come out, then they need, like, a red unit, and maybe you don't have a high star Pan. Maybe, but, like, for the, you know, far future, for now, I would say MUI is starting to just be on the decline, because Pan fits on every single team that he could be on, and that's the biggest argument. The replacement is the biggest argument there. Some units are replaced and don't have that as their biggest argument. MUI, it's the shining thing that's well existing to go against him. He's just replaced. At number 8 here, yeah, you see his animation playing out. Yeah, I do have Ultra Vegito. I know some pitchforks might be thrown. I think actually after our next unit we'll have some pitchforks, but look, right now, I understand the, I don't know what the wording we call it, the undervaluing of units that aren't just the new hype thing. I understand that, because people just have the recency bias, and, you know, they'll change their biases over time. But Cooler does exist, and Vegito exists. Even more than that, Pan exists. Vegito right now, with there being a purple that can go neutral and being a purple that can revive, also going to probably, you know, be in a meta-relevant spot, I don't think he's worth attempting to run. I don't think this unit particularly is in a great situation, and even more than that, if you want to, like, say, okay, like, he can kill Beaston because all these things and the debuffs, isn't Beaston immune to the debuffs? Isn't X unit, you know, just going to wipe these debuffs? Isn't this unit just going to 3-card him? You know, Pan can probably, like, 5-card an Ultra Vegito. Like, I'm talking like a 14-star Ultra Vegito to a 14-star Pan. I would think, like, strike, I don't know, 4 strikes maybe into a blue card. You probably 3-card, a 4-card, 5-card an Ultra Vegito. Pretty sure it's a thing. And you might say, listen, I get it, fine. There's some reds running around. You might understand it. You might even, you know, agree with me. But you might also say, but he could go neutral. I value neutral in one sense, and it's a very simple thing. If it's long enough to have more value than 3 cards. That's all I need, right? Gohan could go neutral 5 times for 10 counts. That's more than 3 cards. Okay, so that's valuable. Cooler could go neutral. What is it? 15, 10 counts, whatever it is, against Super Saiyan. So that's valuable. Broly can go neutral when a unit swaps in. So, like, let's say Ultra Vegito came in, that's for like 5 counts, and then he'll get his gauge probably during that. So it's valuable. Vegito can go neutral on 2 scenarios, and both are 3 counts. That's not even 3 cards. One is with an ally dead, and you do the ultimate, and one is on green card, which, by the way, Cooler will destroy them. Pan will reduce your key by a trillion, billion, zillion, and you won't even be able to throw it out. And in all reality, if you're running Ultra Vegito, you're probably running with Beaston because blue-yellow, and that's the best blue, that's going to be the best yellow, you're running that setup. You're probably saving those greens for Beaston in like a full spectrum here. Let's say you're running a fusion setup. What if you're just saving those greens for Ultra Gogeta because you need that cover null to even start comboing a Beaston? You see what I mean? It's just not the situation for Vegito. Clearly, this is a character that can gain tons of value. Be top 3, be top 4, be top 2, be maybe not number 1, but like top 5 easily in the future. But right now, with Broly being so bulky and being the only tank in the game, with Revival Gohan being with, you know, Pan and Beaston having this trio of units that are just so good on synergy, so good on, you know, the durability, the sustainability, like, they have literally everything you can really offer and ask for, and maybe, you know, Super Saiyan issue does exist, and we'll get to that when we get to these units in the future, if they are in the list. Vegito just don't be it right now, if I could say that in a simple manner, and again, in the future, definitely could go back up, wouldn't doubt it at all. Honestly, kind of expect it. But right now, with there being a situation of these, honestly, just 2 top 5 reds, and not really a safe spot to be in, just as a Super Saiyan right now, and maybe screwing over your team as well as being a Super Saiyan, because Cooler does exist, he's got to dip down. He's just got to dip down quite a bit here. Again, solo-wise, he's a fine unit, but this isn't a solo game. You bring 3 units. The opponent brings 3 units. You fight out with 3 units, right? Pan to Beaston being number 1 and number 2 type of vibes there. They are solo units that are very good individually, but together, that's what makes them like that duo, right? It's kind of like I don't want to say a Dragon Fist and Tapion duo from like when they first came out, but it is that type of vibe. They don't need that Beaston and Pan. They don't need that at all. But it definitely does help them be as good as they are. So yeah, Vegito just has to fall flat a little bit as a position a little bit lower on the list. But we move and we continue to the next one. At number 7, again, you see their Ultra animation playing. I have at Ultra Gogeta. Now, gotta get this out of the way. This unit is replaced. I understand people might not want to accept that. Beaston replaces him. Simple. Simple situation. Just how it is. Accept it. Or no. It is what it is. 2. He's a Super Saiyan. Now, you might argue, that best team in the game video I made was a Super Saiyan on it. Well, how I value that team is you pop Ralph Gohan's main, you let him die, boom, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan issue gone. Simple, right? Can't do that with Gogeta. He would be your sack off. And that's really something. Clearly, Gogeta does thrive if he had Vegito alongside him because the debuffs that can be offered. A lot of situations not really running around. As I mentioned with Vegito, it's just not the time for him to be existent because these red units, this unit being a Super Saiyan, just not an ideal spot. Now Gogeta obviously is a little bit better off because he still has movies, but look, you can maybe run a double blue, maybe run a double, I don't know, purple right now. Maybe these are teams you could maybe run, but the unsafety, the not, safe spot you put yourself in running a double color situation of units that aren't always neutral, like as an offense and defensive situation, is so just hurtful to you that it's not worth it. So if I were to say like, okay, run Beaston and Gogeta, then Ultra Gogeta goes a higher value because you just run them together. Well, there, one, Cooler could screw you over. Like, Cooler still exists. Cooler is still a top tier unit. Cooler could screw you over. That's one thing. 2, there's a green that's going to run around, and this green's going to be mentioned soon. You have to just kind of play around that idea that there's going to try to be a green trying to snipe out a unit, and in that situation, it's always going to be Gogeta being given up if you're running both together. Let's say you want to run, I don't know, a setup where Gogeta's just not with anybody else. Tapion, Gogeta, Cooler. You want to run that. I don't know. That sounds like a fine setup, right? Well, in that setup, it's a 2v3 because, while yes, you're supporting, and it's great with Tapion, it's essentially just a wasted unit because you have Pan that could probably one-card Tapion. You have other situations of Cooler probably getting one-carded by Beaston. Like, you're not running a situation that's really just safe with any of Gogeta's teams because, again, if you were to run it with Beaston, well, Gogeta could screw over your Beaston at that point. Not going to say he's bad, it's just pointing out a flaw that this unit does have, which is him being a Super Saiyan and him being replaced. You don't need to run him with the other blue unit. You don't do that because you have maybe this green unit, or maybe this unit that could go neutral, or maybe this situation. And it's just not worth it. His output is not high enough as an individual unit, solo-wise, to be run with another unit of the same color, and even more so than that, he's just quite literally inferior to Beast. Again, that's the whole argument, that, the color situation and the replacement situations, why he's lower. He's not stopping anything that's a red. He's not going to, nuke Pan or nuke Cooler, because both are neutral versus this guy, because Super Saiyan, Cooler, Pan, 5 counts, goes neutral 60 counts. You're not nuking anybody. If you get a situation of maybe, okay, you lock in Beaston and you do your ult and you don't have the endurance null and that's kind of a thing you're going with, sure, that's a good spot. Again, that kind of shows that he still has value. That's why he's still in the top 10. But that's so far and few between because why would you allow that to happen to yourself, right? Like Gogeta's lock situation, it's predictable. You're going to pre-swap if you're going to rush him into X unit, or you're going to predetermine the counts before you rush so he doesn't swap out because this 5 count thing procced off, right? You're gonna like pre-do these things so this guy can't get a better advantage over you. And with that, it just, if he can't be advantage to the reds that are going to be high up, where could I really see his value just skyrocket to be, okay, still top 5, okay, still top 3? I really can't, right? My take, clearly, if you disagree, feel free. Again, this is me not saying these units are bad. I have to mention this a lot because people will think, you know, because I rate a unit lower than they would rate the unit, I'm saying the unit's bad. I don't think he's bad. I think he's very solid. I think he's very good. But he does take a back seat because this other blue unit came out. Just how I see it. At number 6 here, we do have Mr. LF Trunks. Now, I mentioned that there's going to be a green running around, and this is that green. I don't think Dragonfist is the guy to run around right now because his re-ramp up situation, just the situation for him to get going and, you know, pop off and do these things against these blues, just isn't as, you know, valuable as Trunks. Like, Trunks will just inherently do more damage, and even more so, Trunks is on hybrids. Hybrids got 2 top 3 units in the game. Like, you gotta see the value there, right? Trunks is going to be the help to try to beat, obviously, Ultra Gogeta, to try to beat Beaston. Now, I know, like, I made the video clearly stating that Beaston doesn't really have a counter, but Trunks is probably the best thing you could ask for if you're going to ask for anything if you don't have a Beaston of your own, because, you know, you try to do the combos, you try to get past 10 counts, you try to get over that neutral effect, maybe later game to like a mid game, because it's only 50 counts, you know, technically, because 10 timer counts 5 times with Beaston's defensive neutral. If you can't get over that hurdle, alright, Trunks gains more value. If you can't, he still will be type advantage, you know, defensively, because he's still type advantage because Gohan's only defensive neutral. And obviously, green cards, blue cards do exist. Gohan can go neutral. That's a bitch. That's a situation you gotta kind of just accept. But he does do very nice damage. He can do the double ult. He can do a lot of, you know, work in nice scenarios. Again, he has pan support, so he can even go further and further and further and really just pop off. Technically, he does gain more value because Piccolo being a top 10 unit for me here, he's taking more slice damage because he's bugged right now. Well, assumably bugged, right? He's taking a lot more slice damage, so technically he gains more value now, Trunks. But he is the attempting stopper. You know, there's going to be purples higher up. Well, at least this guy goes neutral on main ability, so maybe he can try to stop them. Like Broly, he ain't stopping him. He ain't going to beat the fuck out of him. Maybe like Revhan, first life, second life, he could maybe like double ultimate with like main ability pop, get some lucky scenario there. And at least he has a what-if scenario to kind of get these situations going against these units that are meant to just incinerate the shit out of him. And I feel like with that, on top of the hybrid situation, he does gain more value. Could he be in a lower spot? I understand it. Like, if you want to swap him and Ultra Gogeta, I can understand it. I wouldn't necessarily agree with it, but I can understand that and see where you're coming from. But for what we have for, you know, a red and green synergy, even with Pan there, he's definitely one of the better units right now. This unit was definitely slept on and, you know, not in the greatest spot in his first release because it just didn't really flow in a ideal scenario. Got Majin Vegeta, kind of like hoped for something. Then Cooler came out, so he just kind of fell back again because he's running Majin Vegeta. Alright, we're screwing over Majin Vegeta, right? So he kind of just fell back for a good, you know, minute on the wayside here. But at this point, with hybrids getting so strong, hybrids, movies, whatever you want to call it, you know, at that point, technically it's movies. Being a #1 team in the game right now, you just kind of have to accept that the hybrids alongside it, they're all very much gaining value because, well, there's hybrids that just came out. But, again, Trunks number 6, tries to stop the meta. Does he do it successfully every time? No. But is he one of the only units that's at least doing well enough to have more consistency than others? I would say yeah, but units below him, hell no, aren't doing it. Units above him, they're definitely trying to, but in all honesty, every unit above this guy is part of the meta, and they're all, I'm looking at it here, they're all on the movie setup. This is the one unit not on that movie setup, and he's trying to counteract the meta. He's not fully succeeding, you know, it sucks for Trunks, but he definitely does do a lot of damage. He can do nice output. Even blast cover changes because Beaston just draws a lot of cards. Maybe get a blast cover change, get a blue card on him, get some nice scenarios there. A lot of green card spawning, get some, sustainability and retainability of your HP with the HP that he can't get back on his green cards. You got a lot of little scenarios for him there. Again, mainly being that neutral main that's carrying him to, help beat these purples. I'm not saying beat the purples, but help beat the purples. While, Vegito could lack because there's reds that are really scary. Trunks, he can try to beat the scenario. He doesn't fully, but he can try to. And I feel like with what he has around him, it's good enough to rate him this high because no one's stopping these top units. But they're attempting to stop them. And Trunks is the front runner on that. At number 5 here, we do have LF Revival Gohan. Man, just to show. Guys, DBL 36. He is 16 months old. This guy is currently, at least arguable, top 10. Feel like that's really concrete. Top 7, arguably. That's kind of insane. Gotta just pour it out there. LF Revival Gohan. He is he is that guy. Clearly, right now, how I mentioned it in the videos prior was that he is on the best team in the game of himself, Beaston, and Pan. Situation being, just sack off his first life if you're running into a cooler. Okay, from there on, no Super Saiyan issue. This guy's going to pop off. Not many yellows to be scared of. If there is, okay, you go into Pan. If there's a situation where Pan somehow lost neutral, okay, you go into Beaston. And then from there on, you just kind of work everything out. With him having the very nice main ability to where he can give allies health back, I believe 20%, and gives support 15% just forever on the support. Obviously helps out everything that he can offer for his allies, and then his damage just afterwards. I mean, you could look at his stats here. This guy's post-revival stats are very good. He gains a lot of health back on revival, was 80% or something like that. 294, and this guy's auto going through cut. This isn't even, understandable why he does this. He just forever goes through cut when he revives. 25%. Every unit in the game has high cut. We know this, right? Beaston is high cut. Pan is good cut. Broly is a high cut. Broly's the tankiest unit in the game. And then this guy just says, it's okay. And even more so, if you're running into a Broly and that's kind of a scary issue for you, I'm pretty sure he's the only one on that setup that does extra to PO. The extra to PO with his stacking, that just, 15 counts is a pretty good time, right? He can really just nuke the shit out of people and do a lot of damage even to this day. It's wild, honestly, how good this man aged at this point. Again, if you don't think he's top 5, that's fine. But top 10, I feel like, is just solidified at this point. If I could say a drawback to him, because these units still have drawbacks in these top 5 thresholds, maybe, not top 3 or top 2, but top 5 still have drawbacks. Clearly, in his pre-revival state, you can say he does air. Understandable. That's fine. Again, how I value him is top the main. Okay, let him die. If he wants to die, let him die. What does it matter to me? At that point, just let him pop off when he's revived. And if he does get sacked off to a rush, you still have the other 2 units, and you made them use a rush on a unit that really didn't need to be rushed at that point, and now your Beast Gohan gained his health back. Or they have a situation where now your Beast Gohan has endurance, right? And now they have to try to beat your Beast Gohan, and from there, it's just easy pickings because Beast Gohan, the unit that's going to 1v3 teams. This guy having perfect color synergy as well on the blue, red, purple setup does help out. And again, that setup is more of a durability setup than anything else because Pan healing, Beaston can heal over 100%. This guy's team healing on first main on his pre-revival state. He just does too much damage with not enough yellows running around. And clearly this changes per meta. If there's more yellows, this guy loses value. If there's more, greens, this guy gains value. If there's, kind of an in-between, well, he kind of stays in the same realm. But with hybrids getting such a massive buff, and him having a situation of being perfect color synergy with the other 2 hybrids that are top tier, he's got to go up. Revival Gohan is very much doing a lot of the work that you want to be done. If not, just having the durability type of thing as just kind of a throwaway life because Beaston and Pan realistically are just going to duo that shit. Fine. But if you want to do output, I've done it. He's been 1v3ing. Again, there's no yellows running around to spook him. And he's 1v3ing teams. It's literally in video if you want to see it. He does the output. We'll say he is probably the most star dependent right here so far on this list. So beware of that. He wants to be 12 stars type of shit. So if you don't have him there, wouldn't recommend him, but yeah, this guy's number 5 just flows way too well with everybody else on his best team in the game, which is, in my opinion, the best team in the game. At number 4, we do have Mr. LF Cooler. Yes, so, okay. I'm gonna take a sip for this one, because this one, I feel like it's actually, like, I don't know. What's the word? It's just a situation people don't necessarily think is real. That this guy maybe dipped down a little bit, or maybe is even still this high up. I don't know. Oh, sip time, hold on. Okay, let's get into it. Cooler. Super Saiyans still exist. You saw Super Saiyans. Revhan. Gogeta. Vegeta. Super Saiyans still exists. Goes neutral, right? Now, why he might have dipped a tad bit. Beaston is blue. Beaston's not a Super Saiyan. Just the simplest reasoning. We all understand that, right? Even more so, Pan lowers sub count so often, you actually can't even use his lock situation to a proper effect. Cooler has to dip down quite a bit. Then, even more so, the team of him, it's not the best. It just isn't. I was thinking, prior to this, that it would be, clearly without knowing kits, right? But, you know, just assuming, it would be Beaston, Cooler, and then Rival Gohan or Ultra Gogeta. You can run double blues and get away with it because, you know, fuck it at that point, Beaston would be that good. No, it doesn't exist. Because Cooler doesn't, I don't know if he just feels weaker. I don't know. Maybe it's because he was always run against Super Saiyans, and it was like, you know, that was the thing. Like, people are just running Ultra Broly because he's so strong individually, you have to run him. People running Ultra Gogeta, he's so strong individually, you have to run him. So you're always running into Super Saiyan. He's always neutral, right? You always have that situation of at least neutral, if not advantage sometimes against, like, Tapions, Ultra Vegetos. Great. But now he just feels weak. You know, Pan debuffs Arts Power, okay? Debuffs Ki. Cooler's kind of auto-lock situation of spam, 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 3 cards back to back to back to back. Doesn't exist. It doesn't do anything. It does something, but there's so much sustainability on setups above him. It's not it. Not to mention the pluses of him, there's still Super Saiyans. Like I said, this guy pops main, he can nullify endurance. Let's say you run into my best team in the game setup. Then get good timing on your sub counts on the enemy. Okay, well, in a whole reality, what if you get a rush after second combo? Happens often, right? Boom! You pop main ability, you just got it, barely. But you pop main ability, and then now you can rush Beast Gohan. From there, oh my god, Rival Gohan was in the match, Rival Gohan screwed you over, boom, you got Beast Gohan out. Now that's not really a situation that you can really plan for, because again, sub count manipulation happens really often on this setup like that, but it's at least set up you can go around. Ultra Gogeta, again, still running around, these Super Saiyans are still around. Trunks, again, I named them already, right? These are units flowing, but Cooler just not being on the best team in the game, units being blue, again, the unit that's clearly beating him in value. Beaston, Pan lowering sub count too much, the Arts Power inflicted, the reducing Ki. It's just not enough for him to hold a top 3 spot, which is unfortunate, but I will say Cooler does get a lot of downplay right now. Cooler is still a very good unit. Like, please understand this when I'm saying this. He's still very good. He is not bad. It's just, right now, how it always is. If this unit becomes, you know, relevant and is this color, this unit, that's the disadvantage, or just not an ideal spot to counter out that unit, or do well against that unit, loses value. Beaston, not a Super Saiyan, he's blue. Sometimes you run him with Super Saiyan, sometimes you don't. He just isn't in a situation to just be, you know, higher value Cooler because of that. Now, if there's more yellows, okay, Cooler goes up. There's more Super Saiyans, okay, Cooler goes up. Again, meta dependency is what's most important when you do a tier list, because every meta changes. These number 1 LFs, every new banner, clearly the meta is going to change because of that. And then you have Pan alongside it. It just makes the change even more drastic. But Cooler, still very good. Not the time for him. Kind of like an Ultra Gogeta spot, Vegito spot. Not the time for him to exist right here. More Vegito spot than Gogeta, but not the time. He will gain value, promise you in the future. But right now, you know, this placement's not bad for him. It's just, he has to go down. Big Blue Strongman beats Big Blue Red Man. At number 3, we do have the bronze medalist, I guess we could call him, can't even speak. Ultra Dragon Ball Z Broly. Now, I said before, Revhan is the most targeted unit on this list so far, and that's true up to that part. Broly, this is a Broly that needs to be high. He needs to be high as the sky. I'm talking 12 Mate, if you really want to cope, 10 stars, fine. But 12 to 14, it's just how it is. This is the type of unit he is. He's a defensive type. Just in the whole reality of his own kit, maybe not what it actually says, but in reality of kit, bro's a defense type. So he needs to be high stars. Getting that out of the way. Now, why is he higher than Cooler? Because that's a topic people will talk about, right? Broly is the only tank in the game. It's the simplest logic, and then you look at the colors. Again, I feel like this is very just point blank there, but people need to explain it a little bit, so I'll explain it. Yellow. There is one yellow on this list. Trunks. I quite literally mentioned Broly will not die to a Trunks. It's just not a reality that exists because Trunks does not do enough in his stackable damage, in his ultimate damage. Doesn't do enough. And then Broly himself, he can do nice output. He really does help in like 2 spots right now. One is combo screwing. I've run into a lot of Ultra Broly's recently because of Beast Gohan. And why is because he gets 50% on his first gauge, similar to Beast Gohan having 100% on his first gauge. It's a slot entry. Broly takes 2 or 3 cards. I think it's 3 cards actually. Then, boom. Okay, bro's got gauge. After he gets gauge, that Beast Gohan combo maybe doesn't end, but it gets stopped by like 3, 4, 5 cards because that key reduction, the card destroy, maybe you get good timing and you destroy the green card or blue card that they just drew, then something happens nicely there. Then from there, they're force swapping you out. That was a, I've been talking too much cough, I apologize. But then he's force swapping you out, not by him actually doing it, but you have no vanish. You already had a situation of, okay, well, he destroyed my green card, he destroyed my blue card, or I used it pre this situation, now I just lost my vanish because he, got his gauge full. Then from there, you have Broly that can rampage through, do quite a bit of damage. I wouldn't say he's gonna hit hard as fuck, but he can do quite a bit of damage. In all reality, you could just run him over Rival Gohan. Just run, clearly the equips are going to be more hurt than something else, on the team. In a whole reality, if you run him over Rival Gohan, but if you're willing to take that shot to your equipment and just get a little bit less pure equips and, just less stuff going on for everybody else, Broly is going to stonewall everything. Broly will also just not really hurt you. I don't think Broly can hurt you right now. Like, can Broly, get you killed in a match? I don't think so. And you also have Pan, who's going to spawn a green and blue. Broly's green, going to get a Vanish Pack situation. His blue card, when everyone's alive, does astronomical damage. Like, Beast-On does more, and it's barely more. Broly does a lot of damage on blue card. Broly has a lot of durability, a lot of sustainability. If he's running with Pan, he has even more of that. He can get double card just beat on his own. He can also get cover null. He can get a lot of situations, even faint on some units. I know a lot of units are immune, but like Beast-On is immune, but other units in the game do exist. He can get that going for you. This unit can definitely wall off PvP. He is the only wall of PvP, and that's with boost, and that's with everything. And maybe after boost he'll fall down. I don't know if he'll fall cataclysmically, but he'll fall down for sure. Right now, this guy is the only unit that can, take a hit and just live to tell the tale of taking a hit from a full Beast-On combo, a full Cooler combo, a full, Vegito combo, because he goes neutral when new enemy comes in for 5 timer counts defensively, right? He can live situations, he can do his job of living everything and not really giving too much shits about it. Also, with Pan, bro's gonna heal a lot, right? Like, isn't that a situation that you really want? Bro's gonna heal a crap ton. And Broly, from there, again, bro needs high stars. I'm not gonna deny it, accept it, really. But when he has that, this guy is top 3. He is the wall of PvP. Getting through a 14-star Broly is not an easy task. Even with the high-star Beast-On, I have one. I've fought 14-star Brolys. I've used 14-star Broly against Beast-On. The situation works where this guy can do his job of stopping combos, disrupting, and even more so, hurting the shit out of your opponent while stalling your opponent with all his tanking that he can offer. He's a very good unit. Number 3. We move to the top 2. At number 2, we do have the new Red Dragon Ball Super Pan. Pan is way too good. Pan is a mix of Vados, Halo Vegeta, Future Gohan, every support type in the game, done in a manner of some, flaws in them fixed. she is a mixture of everyone with the issue fixed. Pan actually is way too good. Pan, for one, these defensive stats. She has Beaston has 2k more defenses at 14 stars. This is a 1% unit that you're going to get for free. Like in like 2 days, we get it for free. If you guys don't have her, get her for free. So that's one thing. At 14 stars, she has near LF stats. Just to mention there. Beaston has high defenses for like an LF, right? He has lower offenses, but like high defenses, right? Too much support. She quite literally lowers attack power. What that means is your units, the enemy, will be doing less damage on their attacks because Pan is in the match. She came into the battlefield, and then that's it. Okay. A lower sub count astronomically on blue card, on green card, gets Dragon Balls by doing blue cards, by the way. No Blast Armor, fine, valid. And then clearly runs with Beast Gohan as a perfect partner. There is never going to be a better partner for Beast Gohan that could ever exist on his initial release anytime soon. I can't understand how they thought this would be balanced, but she's the perfect partner. She can offer healing. She does the Vados effect of ramping up damage to allies from 5%. I believe it goes up to like, 30, 50, some bullshit like that. As she can ramp up for allies, yeah. When this card switches standby to allies, she can give her allies up to 50%. And it's not like this is impossible because you're going to be swapping out because all the sub count down from Beaston, from Pan, from, let's say, Rabadon, from, let's say, Piccolo. You have a lot of sub count down. And she just offers that on top of having sub-count manipulation when she gets hit. Okay, from there you can't even swap to go into advantage to her. And how could you go to advantage? Because Pan also gets neutral for 60 counts at 5 counts. Yeah, on her main ability. Pan is way too good as a support type. This is what an anniversary. This is what Tapion should have been. This is what the I was going to say revival, but the transformation Vegeta should have been the attack power debuff, right? That's what these units should have been for anniversary units because they're super hype, right? I understand Pan being this because like superhero, super hype, and they want to make her valuable and desirable to pull for. But yeah, it is insanity. Again, she runs on the best team in the game, blue, red, purple, and her individually is just such a good unit. Now, I'm not going to say she can clutch matches. Again, I'm calling her like a Vados puddle type. These units can't clutch matches, but these units can amp the shit out of your main units, and Pan does that to such an extremity. It actually is just... I don't know how to say it more valid, that it is beyond broken. Pan's abilities to amplify the units around her, any unit in the game, by the way, she's not restricted to anybody, or any tag, right? Any unit in the game can get the value that Pan can offer from her support, which is just bonkers. I think she being clear number 2 makes sense because of what she runs with on her teams and her being alongside the best unit in the game, who we will get into right here as number 1. And number 1 to fully wrap up the cycle of, hey, the new unit, the new shiny LF Ultra, well, not Ultra, actually a Broly, sadly, but usually the new shiny LF Ultra being the best in the game. Yeah, Beast Gohan fulfills that. I think everyone agrees with this. Might disagree with like Vegeta or Gogeta or Cooler, something around these lines, right? You'll obviously disagree with something that isn't... Wait, what? Does his art change back on its own? Did I touch something? Please don't change back. I like this art. Thank you. Yeah, Beast Gohan, he's on the best team in the game. He is the best team in the game. He is the... He does change back. What the hell? I didn't touch anything. That sucks. But yeah, he's individually... Number 1, he can go neutral defensively, he can go neutral offensively, he can, ramp up his ultimate to literal infinity and beyond, because, yeah, that's a thing that he needs to do. Like, this guy, he does it all. Can I even point out a flaw in him in all reality? No, number 1 unit doesn't have a real flaw, if I could say anything. I genuinely can't think of a flaw, I'm going to be real. I can't think of a flaw with him. He's on the best team, he has the best equips, like, that you can't have is just a LF unit, because his tags, obviously hybrids, and he has the best support type in the game that is his best partner. He actually doesn't have a flaw. Like, Yeah, I actually can't point out a flaw. He's just number one. I just think it's just accepted. I don't think I have to say more. Beast Han's number one. He does everything. He is everything. He's the best. Let's see how he ages during Legends Fest, but bro is the best. Concrete. Can't really argue it in my opinion. If you do think he's not, let me know who you guys think it is. That is my top 10 with Beast Gohan's release. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next one.